Of another Sim Racing Alliance season. It's been a long break, and we're back.
It's been quite a long break, and I think you, me, and everybody involved with tonight's action is super excited to get going.
So they got a straight fight the rest of the night. He's going to have to make a move. That's a Punterino.
Serious pressure from Lustra.
Trying to switch on the inside. So when he goes on the inside for the defense, oh my goodness, right in between.
He's going to dive to the inside of both of them. They're going to go three wide corner. And we're off and away for SRA.
Hey guys, welcome to the D1 stream tonight. Thanks for tuning in. We are in for a barn burning first race of the season tonight. We are excited to get this season off with a bang, get things going. And I'm honored personally to be stepping up to do the D1 race. We were just chatting before this and we're excited. There's some really awesome drivers in this division. We're excited to see them battle it out there on track. And we got a heck of a track to start off the season here. We'll be talking about that in just a little bit. With me here in the booth, I have my friends Andrew Anderson and Josh Damani, and I just can't wait to get to know these guys throughout the season as we broadcast these races for you. I'm going to pass it over to Andrew now. He can tell you a little bit more about himself.
These guys are so fast, they might finish the 60-minute race in about 45 minutes tonight. We might get out early. It's unbelievable. This is it's an honor to get to watch and call a race for drivers of this caliber. This is the premier division for SRA and very likely the premier sim racing division for all of North America. And I think everyone who's watching, stick around for the whole season. Don't just watch tonight. This is just the appetizer. Wait till you get 8 races of this in this year. Josh, let me know what you think about these guys.
Yeah, honestly, everything you said, just excited to be back up here for another season. And yeah, like these guys are the upper echelon, as not just here at SRA, but around sim racing in general. And really excited to see what these guys can put down on the track tonight, because as usual, these leaderboards have been on fire.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. It's good to see you. Dudley Do right here is playing the host tonight, and I'm just excited to get things going into this season. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a battle. We got 8 weeks of racing ahead of us. Starting tonight, we're starting off at the Hungaroring.
And there they go. Qualifying is underway.
We got guys
For the
out there on the
silver
track warming things up.
Absolutely. We're about to show everybody these beautiful cars on track.
Yeah, while they're out there, right, while they're out there getting warmed up, let's show you a little bit about this track. We're at the Hungaroring in Hungary. It's about 4.38 kilometers around. That's just under 3 miles for us Americans. 14 turns out there. It is a tight and twisty track for most of it, not too many long straightaways. The main place we're going to see a long overtaking opportunity on a straightaway, we are looking at the front straight mostly for that into turn 1. We got a great big wide turn 1 with a long straight leading to it. So I think that's where we're going to see the majority of the action. But what do you think out there, Josh?
Realistically, like you said, there's not too many opportunities on this track. There's a lot of left, a lot of right, a lot of tiptoeing the car on what feels like a knife edge of balance, even when you have fresh tires, let alone when you've got a full tank of fuel and you're working your way through an hour race. But besides turn 1, possibly turn 12, we might see, there's a good opportunity to get a run, especially if you don't really got the best run through turn 11. The outer curb there is a infamous spot to catch a track limits cut, and the track limit monster should be out tonight as well. But realistically, yeah, those 2 spots, the hairpins in the early parts of the race, when most of the cars are too wide, some people might be opportunistic, but that is about it here. It's about keeping your head down, keeping your lap times consistent, and keeping it between those white lines for an hour.
Absolutely, those track cuts will ruin a race no matter how fast you are. We all know that one. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get other guy in the booth here, Andrew. He's got some things prepared to get us psyched up about the guys that we've been talking about that are so fast on these tracks. And while he does that, we're going to take a look at these guys taking their first laps here as we get into things going down on the racetrack. Go ahead, take it away, Andrew.
Hey, thanks, thanks, Dudley. So this is the premier division of Sim Racing Alliance's GT3 series. So we thought we'd properly introduce all the competitors so you could follow the stars throughout season 9. So you can follow both the teams and the drivers. 8 races. I have no idea what's going to happen, but without further ado, here are the top tier field of 42 drivers for season 9. Here we go. Lightning speed, we're going to do it. Alpha Sim Sport. Timothy Flamger is back as an SRA designated alien this season. He's all alongside Austin Carpenter again. They will be very close to the front all season. Title contenders for sure. Blind Hen Racing, familiar faces, Patrick Rust and Brooker Quigg, back this season in the AMG Mercedes. Champion Motorsports, Silver Bullets, also in an AMG. Nate Speck, who gets faster every season, teams up with former champion Matt Lehman. They're fast. Wow. Champion Motorsports, Team McDonald's. Joe Alcimito and John Crown are returning as accomplished SRA drivers. Comic Racing's McLaren team is John Sparks and Mert Mucha. Comic Racing's Audi team is Danny Durantz, an SRA accomplished veteran paired with a very fast Gomer Wilson. How Danny Durantz is a silver driver in this division, I don't know, but this class of esports quality field completely is mind-blowing. I can't believe what we're watching tonight. Also, Comic Racing's Porsche team may have their team's fastest overall drivers in Michael Griffith and Travis Nordstrom. They are both currently championship contenders for both team and individual driving. Grid Thieves Racing return drivers Felipe Ernesto Vicini and James Riley, both former familiar SRA easy for you to say. Both familiar to SRA audiences. Ghost Rider returns with Max Simons and Rodya Over, both capable of winning races overall silver championship. It's Chili's unveils a new Honda with longtime favorite Dominic Duran and esports driver Michael Manning. Madhouse is bringing 3 D1 teams, Brian Ryder and Michael Lewis, Dan Good and Ryan Walker, Jeff Spangler and Ed Kerstetter, who are both resident aliens. Jeff and Ed are both title contenders. Ed won Season 8's Driver Championship, and he wears the coveted number 1 in Season 9. Quality Control brings a BMW with Mike Vasquez and Chandler Williams. Red Eye Racing is sporting an Audi with Dan Crandon. Coadromo, sometimes maybe, has changed to Aston Martin for this season. Fazli Majid and Mr. Sir will be fast again this season, in the mix for every race. Hoonigans are back with 2 Lamborghini teams. Matthew Schwartz and Chris Stefiak pair with Travis Robinson and Victor Diaz in the silver field. TSE has 3 teams, all in different cars. Alien, Jeremy Mercer and Jordan Nix are in the M4. Peter O'Brien and Wes Hepburn are in the Lambo. Dylan Stallworth and Eric Neville will be competing for honors in silver in the Audi. And rounding out this field, Vacuum Racing has 2 Brazilian racers in the gold category driving the Audi. Renato Dornelis and Wilson Fernandez round out a field. Some of the best sim racers you'll ever see on one grid. 42 racers. Let's have a season, everybody.
Yeah, amen to that. Thanks, Andrew. That was a great rundown of the drivers we're going to get the opportunity and the privilege to watch duke it out this season through the next 8 weeks. Bear with us, guys, as we're working out the kinks here. This is my first time having the honor of hosting a race, and so there may be slight lapses in some of the broadcasting stuff, but we'll get it together and bring you a great race tonight no matter what. There may be some guys that still didn't get their liveries together. I promise you, I did sync very, very recently. So if there's a black car or 2 on the grid, it's not my fault. So there's occasionally we get problems with liveries not syncing up. So apologies for that if there is, but we do have an awesome batch of liveries to show you guys this season, and it makes the cars look sweet. I know we dropped into the practice race yesterday and saw some of these guys getting on track, and it just felt so good to finally get out there and see these liveries on track, be racing side by side with some of these top drivers. As we said, top drivers in the sport, not just in SRA, but around the sim racing universe. We are getting some guys laying down their legitimate laps at this point. We got some guys out front. What are you seeing out there, everybody?
Fazli Majid, silver driver. Yeah, right. He is leading right now, 143.2. That's ridiculous. Matthew Schwartz. Oh boy, these guys in the low 43s are absolutely moving. And what's scary enough is that's just the start. Wait till the gold guys get out here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Some of the peak end of the leaderboards were showing drivers down in the mid 42s, but just an interesting tidbit about Fosli's lap there. That was his first valid lap, and he's once again invalidated. So that good thing you got a good banker in, because that might become his only lap.
Yeah, no kidding. But geez, a 143.2, that's no slouch of a banker lap, is it, boys?
No, sir. That's pushing those tires to the limits right off the box.
There it is. Brooker Quigg, provisional front row for the silver category. Austin Carpenter right behind him. Right now, the 15 silver drivers are covered by 8300ths of a second. That's liable to get a lot tighter before this is over. I wouldn't want to handicap the silver field for all at tea in China right now.
No kidding.
You put them in a sack, turn them upside down, and they all fall out at the same time.
We got Robinson here making big moves. He's about almost three tenths up on his best lap time right now. He may be coming through and gaining a few positions here as he finishes his lap. Where does he slot in? Sure enough, he jumps up to 4th place in the standings. What a stellar lap. We still got guys that can do their silver times all the way till 10 minutes in qualifying. So just to share this with everybody, maybe this is your first time watching an SRA race. If it is, I'm going to tell you how qualifying works a little bit here. We have our silver class drivers and we have our gold class drivers. They're separated very, very slightly by pace, but just to make things a little more exciting, we separate them out to just make one more division divide to make all the racing as fun as possible. So the silver drivers get out on track and qualifying first. They have the first 10 minutes all to themselves without any gold drivers running up their rear bumper the whole time trying to run them off the track, or them slowing down a gold driver getting in their way while a gold driver's trying to lay down a real hot lap out there. The qualifying now, so as we hit the 10-minute mark now, is going to be the last chance for those silver drivers to throw in their times. And the gold drivers are going to take the track. Now, if they cross the start-finish line before that 10-minute mark, they can make a whole nother lap. It's not like they have to stop as soon as the 10-minute lap starts, or the 10-minute mark hits. So Carpenter here, he's halfway through his lap. He can still complete this lap, and if he hits the start-finish line, we still got people that might have just crossed the line. They've got a full amount of time. He decides to abandon that lap. It looks like he was a little bit up, but he probably got outside the track limits. We do have the gold drivers rolling out onto the track now with that 10 minutes left. Josh, who do you like out there for the gold drivers?
For the gold drivers, I'll be honest, I haven't really taken a look through the field. My eyes right now have been glued to Matthew Schwartz. He was up 3/10 in Sector 1, lost a 1/10 and a half, has climbed back to 2/10 and is coming through the last corner right now. He's going to challenge the top of the grid here for silver. It just misses out on Fasley by 22 thousandths of a second.
Wow, that is tight.
Release the hounds.
No doubt. We got the gold drivers headed out there now. We're going to see a real display of sim racing mastery.
I guess if I had to pick someone in this gold field now, my eyes are going to have to be on Mr. Sir. He has to show up his silver teammate who's sitting up at the top of the field. Nobody else in this Division 1 field tonight, at least, I haven't checked the overall registration, has picked the Aston Martin. So for it to be up at the top right now, he needs to match, if not best, that in this gold field.
No doubt. Mr. Sir is a force to be reckoned with. Every race I've been in with that guy, it doesn't matter what car he's driving. He could be in a GT4 car. He's going faster than me. I don't know how he does it. It's insane. The guy's extremely talented behind the wheel.
And I guess that's why they call them the aliens.
No doubt.
Around here, they would say, they ain't from around here.
They just might.
Well, all the gold guys are backing up, ready to get their first flying laps in. 8 minutes and change left. They're warming tires up. They're spacing themselves out.
Tires got a little too warm back here.
Warm up your tires.
Yes, it is. Here we go.
All right, we got guys taking off down the front straight, starting their laps here. The first laps are going to be, as we call them, banker laps. That's where they're going to make sure they don't go outside the track limits most of the time. The tires aren't fully warmed up yet. The car's not ready to set the fastest lap it's going to be able to set. So the point there is to set a lap that you know is at least going to not put you in last place at that point. So you've at least got some pace. You're at least somewhere around guys you're going to be competing with during the race. And then after that, you can start to push. And if you go outside of track limits, well, at least you got that one to fall back on. It's in the bank. It's a banker lap. That's where that term comes from. But yeah, it's going to get exciting here. These guys are already just flying around this track with the cars not even warmed up. And I just got questioned in the chat here. Looks like somebody wants to know what the silver pole time. The silver pole time ended up being a 1:43.1, I believe. Or no, Majid did it with the 1:43.2. Is that right? Or no, Sparks took it with the 1:43.1.
He sure did.
187 in that. I believe that's the McLaren Evo.
Yes.
Sitting up at the top there.
The dominant vehicle.
You know what a banker lap gets you here in Division 1? Last.
It just might.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, when the silver division is split by less than 1 second, yeah, I would be a 10th off the back of Dan Durant's at the back of that silver field. That's for sure.
Yeah, a banker lap in this division is more like a piggy banker lap. There's nothing in it. All right,
Yeah.
let's watch the times fall as these guys cross the line for the first time.
Travis Nordstrom immediately making his presence known at the top of the leaderboard.
In the Porsche. What a sketchy little car to be driving so fast. I think the Porsche is handicapped very well around here. I'm going to watch, also one thing we haven't talked about is first season for SRA to have a BOP adjustment, and all the cars should be a lot closer together now for a lot better competition and wider variety of cars on track. I think the Porsche, after all the BOP adjustments, I think if you can get around in that car, it's a tough car to drive. But I think if you can get around, I think it may have the most potential of all the cars at this track tonight.
I agree with you. Porsche is going to be quick this season all the way around. It seemed to suffer the least from the BOP adjustments as far as having any weight added or anything like that. And it was quick to begin with. It was funny because racing against, I raced in the McLaren and racing against the Porsche, it's got a completely different dynamic of how it approaches most of the corners. So it's not that fast on the apex of a corner compared to the McLaren, for instance. And yet its braking and its straight line speed, it would always get the good pull, the good rip out of the corner, and therefore it was very difficult for a McLaren, for instance, to get around a Porsche because, okay, I might be faster than you right at the apex of a corner, but you can't pass a guy right at the apex of the corner unless he gets wide. So if he's hugging that inside line, those Porsches are almost impossible to get around.
Yep, big wing, low weight. Engine is still, they say it's mid-engine. It's still hanging on the back axle. That car will rotate. It will create loads of front downforce. It's the only car in the field that has a movable front splitter. It can create all kinds of downforce and aero advantages. If you can drive it, it's going to be tough to beat, especially with these guys. Jordy Mercer. Sitting on provisional pole.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jeremy Mercer, excuse me.
Yeah. That is a heck of a lap. He's getting down into the first driver into the 142s now. I think we're going to see a few people breaking into the 142s, but man, that is just a slapping fast lap out of that guy. That's insane fast, though.
I stand corrected. Jordy Mercer is a former baseball shortstop. Jeremy Mercer is sitting on provisional pole tonight.
You guys were talking about baseball before the broadcast. Now we're talking about racing. Let's get this straight.
Yeah. I want to go call a baseball game tonight. So.
Do we get to use old-timey accents?
Yeah, if you guys want to, yeah, sure, that's great.
There you go. I get the Jordy Mercer reference in the chat. Now, as this mentioned, Porsche doesn't have the adjustable front splitter. The 991 did. Maybe the chat's correct that it's. I guess Bobby. Maybe the 992 does not. I have not driven it. Maybe it does not have an adjustable splitter. But I thought I know the 991-2 did. Maybe I stand corrected. I go check it out now. That car still generates loads of front downforce. Let's see. What if we get a camera on Michael Griffith? He just took provisional pole.
Yeah. So Nordstrom was making up tons of time, so that's why I flipped over to him. He's about to. Okay, so Griffith did. Yeah. What a lap. Wow.
Just got a note in chat that my mic's a little low. Hopefully I've just fixed it.
Okay.
And thanks, Bobby, for the note.
Yeah, let us know, guys, in the chat if there's anything that's a little bit out of line with the stream. As I said, this is our trial run here, so if there's something that needs a little bit of attention, don't be afraid to shout it out in the chat.
And we have
no bigger tradition in SRA than technical issues and first nights of the season.
Look, with the stuff we're running here, we're doing this virtually. We've never met each other. We don't even know where each other are. The fact that we're even able to do this, to me, it's just friggin' amazing, and it's awesome at the same time. So,
hey,
it definitely is.
I can tell you exactly where I'm at. If you use the camera, you can go off and you can see there is a water park just beyond turn 5. I am on the big dragon tail slide at the end of turn 5 in the water park, wearing my my swim trunks.
all right, how's the weather there right now this time of year?
It is cold as all get out right now.
Very good, very good. I am gonna when qualifying wraps here real fast, we're gonna take a quick look at the standings, and I did resync the liveries just one more time while we were doing this, and I'm gonna drop out of the server for just a second, jump right back in, and see if we can't reload some of these cars and make everybody in their gorgeous liveries ready for the race.
We're gonna hold down the fort while Travis Nordstrom and Michael Griffith hold down the provisional front row, and Nordstrom is on an even faster lap right now. He's up on his current provisional pole sitting lap. We're looking at others that might be, as we got 40 seconds left. Mr. Sir He's not on a lap that's going to put him on provisional pole, but he's looking to move up the order, possibly second row start. If he can hold it together, I don't think he's going to make it. Michael Manning.
Wow, he's
is
really
improving
chucking
his
it in every
time.
corner, though, isn't he?
Oh, he's slinging it.
Let's take a ride on board here with Mr. Sir as he tries to hustle the car. Oh, looks like he invalidated right there. I can't imagine that's not an invalidated lap at this point.
Timothy Flanger. Flanger is the only person that's up a significant amount. Mr. Sir is now, he's invalid. Timothy Flanger is looking to
Currently
improve.
in your picture-in-picture.
Yeah, he's not going to move up a lot.
Boy, it
I'll
sure
take
is
that
tight
with
in
a
D1.
D.
Wow, I cannot believe how close these cars are in their lap times. It's insane.
Now, Flanger is speeding up, and he could end up on the first 3 rows.
So could Moaning here. He's put in a heck of a lap. Unfortunately, we don't have his livery, but let's follow along with him as he closes out this lap. Right now, he's up 2/10, which could move him up a few spots.
Kerstetter is on pace to take provisional pole.
No doubt.
The slightest of margins.
It's a great looking lap. He's about halfway through the lap right now. We're about to close this one out, and then we'll switch over and get on board with Ed Kerstetter as he finishes out his lap. Sure enough, Boney moves up to 5th place. Kerstetter's already in 4th, and he's looking to improve that. He's up almost 2/10.
Kerstetter, if he doesn't lose time in the last sector, he is going to be on pole. Here it comes.
Here he is coming into the final sector. We're on board with him here. Let's see how he navigates these last couple corners.
Down a gear.
Got a good exit.
Oh, he's smooth. He looks good. He looks really good.
He's gaining more time now.
He floats it in very nicely. Nice grunt coming out of the next to last corner.
Oh, he's losing time coming to the line, but he's getting it. Doesn't improve his position. He does not improve his position, unfortunately.
But he does get closer. Top 4 inside half a tenth. Just over half a tenth.
I'm going to drop that pip out of the way for just a second so you guys can get a good look at your top 20. And then I'm going to drop you guys back to the track map for just a second while I exit the server here.
We have very poor news for Max Diggs in the chat. We have no giveaways tonight. We donated all of the SRA labeled and branded hammer toe straighteners. So none of those for tonight. See if we can get some railroad salvage in. See if we can sort through and find some good things to give away for next week. Wow, so the stars of the show have done it again. Nordstrom, Griffith, Mercer, not the shortstop. Kerstetter, Manning, Flanger, Spangler, and Mr. Sir are your first 4 rows. We expected nothing else. Sean Sparks, Fazli Majid, row 5, silver drivers. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement up and down this grid. For once, qualifying seems a little bit logical at the start of the season, where it's actually gold drivers at the top and a couple silver drivers amongst them, instead of just an absolute scatterbomb amongst the leaderboard.
I do have a question for the chat. I noticed we have one person in chat labeled short and saucy. I thought I was short and saucy. I'm not sure who that is. If not, I may have to be short and saucy too.
All right, we got about 50 seconds to the start here. We're going to take a little walk down the grid real fast, if we can, see if we can see some of these excellent liveries. Anybody want to call that list off for me as we go down the line? P1.
Josh.
Travis Nordstrom.
P2.
Michael Griffith.
All right, keep it
Jeremy
going.
Mercer. Ed Kerstetter. Michael Menning. Timothy Flanger. Jeff Spangler. Mr. Sir. Glorious Lego livery. John Sparks. Fazli Majid. John Crown. Matt Schwartz. I don't have the rest of the first names. Hepburn. I've lost my place in the list now. These liveries look sick.
Dornelis, Quigg, Speck.
All right, we're moving with the cars up front, so we're going to jump
Here
back to
we
a camera that
go.
makes sense.
Great work, babe.
Pro tip to my broadcaster and to all. If you're in free cam and you hit the F7 button, you can, I believe it's F7, you can adjust the settings so that you're not tied to a car.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we're off on the pace lap now. So just if anybody's first race tuning in with SRA, we do a full pace lap here, full formation lap to everybody get a chance to get settled in their cars, calm the nerves, get the tires a little bit warmed up, make sure the brakes work, make sure they got their drink, make sure everything's ready to go, so that when that green flag flies, we can have some clean, fun, fast racing action. Looking forward to it. We got the two Porsches out front with Griffith and Nordstrom. Just in their twin liveries there with the giant shark mouth on the front of their Porsches. They look like they're ready to gobble up some track tonight. Who do you guys like coming from the midfield, coming up, trying to make pace up through the front?
I like Fosley Majid, frankly. I like Brooker Quigg. And also Nate Speck in P16. I think he's faster than that. I really do. Well, they're all faster than that. Carpenter at 23, even though he's silver driver, he's faster than that. This field could turn upside down. And this field could turn completely upside down, and I wouldn't bat an eye.
I have one name and one name only on my mind right now, and that's Joao Semedo. He's currently sitting in P27, which is very out of place for his driving skill and the pace that I know he's capable of this week. I know
That's
him and John
sneaky.
have some sneaky race pace, so he's probably going to make up some positions here.
That's very sneaky.
Sneaky. We got some teammates that end up qualifying right next to each other all over the grid too. That's going to be fun to see if these guys can capitalize on it, work in tandem, perhaps work together a little bit to either box somebody out a little bit, maybe pin somebody in so they can make a pass when they need to. It's always good to have somebody that you know is on your side and you know you can trust not to race you too roughly at the beginning of a race. That's for sure, to have somebody that's, not out to get you so bad right off the gate.
Hey, we're bunching up, guys. We're looking a lot like Noah's Ark. They're 2x2. Race director is beginning to like what he sees.
Indeed. We're going to the helicam to capture the full glory of this start. We did catch a few more liveries, it looks like, with that resync that I was able to do just right before the race started. I don't know how these guys were still loading liveries while they were driving their cars, but it happened.
Look at that. That is a beautiful side-by-side view. Very professional-looking grid.
All right, it's time for off and away for the first race of Season 9 of SRA. They're coming to the line, ready to go. Nordstrom leads them. And off. There they are. They're on the gas into turn 1, headed down the front straight. Oh, looks like we got a little bit of a bad start from second place. He's getting overtaken by third and fourth. They're going 3 wide in the first corner. Oh, they're making it 4 wide as they enter the corner. How did they not touch each other with so many cars in one spot? It looks like Nordstrom got a clean start away, though. His teammate back there bunched everything up for him, maybe gave him a clean start. Looks like we had a little bit of action further back in the pack. We'll maybe take a look at that in the PIP. Yep. Looks like you got that back there, Josh.
Dornelis
John Crown and Dornelis, we're taking a quick look here in a replay. Looks like they just came together as they were exiting the corner. Unfortunate ACC physics and just where they contacted the cars. That's going to bring them to the back of the field. But thankfully, that pit window, that mandatory 1 pit stop, is going to open up before they come around to finish this lap. So they should have an opportunity to bring themselves back and play with an undercut if they want to, or even just send it, because the pace of this pack is going to be significantly slower for at least a couple laps.
That's a great point. With an hour-long race, it is possible, even if you have some early damage, to make that back up and still have a very good finish. Up at the front here, we still got a pretty tightly bunched pack all the way through.
Hey, Kerstetter has split the Porsches.
Yeah. It looks like Griffith maybe purposely even, maybe it wasn't purposely, but he didn't get quite as good a start as his teammate Nordstrom, and he hung back and he kind of bunched everybody up, which let Nordstrom get kind of a jump out front. But Kerstetter does look like he's reeling him in now after he's gotten past Griffith.
He's a half second behind. as we come through the last sector, the last couple of corners. Let's see what that McLaren looks like as it comes through that last corner. See if he can put power down faster than the Porsche. I'll bet it can't.
Dom Duran,
didn't.
the first to bite on the pits.
Oh, Dominic Duran making a pit stop. Now, he was
No
involved in
damage,
that
not
incident
in a
or not?
battle. He was not. He wasn't really in a battle either. So that must have been in his game plan from the beginning, as we've got a three-way Porsche fight down the straight.
We have got a parade on pit road. I see.
Oh, wow.
5,
Yes, we do.
6. There's at least a dozen cars on pit road. The undercut
Wow.
is on.
No
There's
kidding. Keep
11
track of those.
cars currently. Very good quick count.
Challenge accepted.
Excellent. What is the pit stop delta on this track, Josh? I haven't kept track of that.
We are going to be finding out as the first person to complete a perfect pit stop. Gonna give, looks like a lot of 5-second stops, a couple people with damage. 34 seconds is going to be your time from timing mark to timing mark. That's the in pit line mark to the out pit line mark, not accounting for your entry and exit. So about 34 seconds, call it 36, 37, because of how different you have to take the last corner. But
All right.
yeah.
Losing just a little over 30 seconds then.
Yeah,
Nordstrom and
just about 30.
Kerstedt are beginning to separate themselves from Griffith, Mercer, Flamger in those first 2 spots.
Excellent. Yeah, they are widening out at the front. We're back here in 6th position now, riding on board with Jeff Jeff Spangler. Sorry about that, man. And he decides to dive to the pits. I think Flamger was actually holding him up a little bit. He was having to brake late into a couple corners and looked like he even had to get offline a couple times to avoid going into the back of him. But boy, he sure knows how to throw that McLaren around. I've been in a few servers with him and had to just ask, like, how are you doing that?
Well, here's the question. The question everybody's asking themselves right now is, am I getting held up? How do I know I'm being held up?
Mm-hmm.
Am I holding somebody else up? Because Hungary, a wonderful track, old school track. I love it. But it's a bit of a one-lane track, and there's not a great opportunity to pass. And it's these guys are going to have to clear themselves and find some open track space. So I'm looking back at these cars that are they have only one more pit, or Danny Durance is coming in. These guys that are 2-3 car lengths, as we're watching on the stream now, 2-3 car lengths behind the car in front of them. Do they need to get out of the air and go find some wide open spaces? How big's that undercut gonna be? We're about to find out, and I don't know how long these leaders can stay out. They may have to respond.
Yeah. Although I find that if they've got open track, Nordstrom right now, he's got open track up front. There's no reason for him to pit unless he short fueled himself for some other reason. But most of the time, the strategy seems to be in these hour-long races to not take tires and only take the minimum amount of fuel, which is 1 liter, which ends you up with about a 5-second pit stop from everything being stopped. And that's the fastest way to go, because especially on a track like this where track position is king, you want to get out of that pit lane in front of the other guy. And so if he screws up hitting his pit box, ends up doing a 7-second stop, and you end up doing a 5, that could be the difference in the race right there.
Well, here comes the rub. If you're Kerstetter, if you're Griffith, Mercer, Flamger, and all of these guys who are nose to tail right behind it, if you come in and leave Nordstrom out, if you come in after all these other guys have pitted, are you going to come back out in traffic and make things worse for yourself? Is it, or do you think at this point, can you still pull off the undercut and see if you can get a couple of tenths on Nordstrom and cycle yourselves out in front of him? That's what we're watching to find out.
Yeah, for sure. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. And in this instance, this is where it really helps out if you have a teammate that maybe perhaps ended up further back in the field, and he can kind of give you an idea of, hey, there's some spaces that are pretty spread out back here. You might want to take your chances of pitting and trying to hit one of these open areas. The problem is if you get back there and you end up behind a guy that's in 13th, 14th place, and he's not letting you get around him. He's just hugging the inside line every single corner, which he has every right to do. He's racing you for position. Then the problem is you're going to lose a lot of time to that leader, because he's out still burning hot laps out front with nobody slowing him down.
A strategy from Koodromo. I didn't realize he started from pit road. I wasn't watching it. But, if you're worried about one-lane track and a lot of carnage, of cars getting off track. Yeah, of course, unfortunately for him, it may not have worked because there was only one incident on the first lap. But he's got a little catching up to do. He's not far behind. Let's see, is he already pitted?
Mm.
I don't think he has.
Koa?
He has.
Koa
He
did pit
has.
as he did pit
He's
as well as starting in the pits.
He's
He
clean.
did.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
clean. He's ready to fight the rest of the way.
Yeah, so he's just gonna ride around the track for the rest of the time and watch the other people drop off in front of him. That's a cool strategy, and we'll see. Keep track of him right now. He might be our most improved driver at the end of the race. He's in 41st place right now, so there's nowhere to go but up from there.
He could be the mover and shaker of the night, and he's probably got a little free air right now. He's got a couple seconds ahead of him to Williams, but he may have some free air, and he may end up getting making up overall time. This is a lapped time race. If you could just get to the end of it faster than the other guy, this will sort itself out later on.
No doubt. Right now we're riding on board with Dan Cran in the passenger seat here. He's flinging that Audi closer and closer to the Lamborghini in front of him throughout many corners on this track. Looks like he's fallen back just a tad now, but looks like perhaps I'm sorry, I didn't study well enough to know this how to pronounce this name. Stefiuk is
That's correct.
just getting a little bit loose in the back end already with that Lamborghini in front of him, and he's able to just pull on him a little bit on a lot of these corners. We'll see. It's about the closest gap we have on our track right now. That's why I flipped over to see what kind of action we had. We also have a close gap up here with Carpenter riding up close on the back of over on in the Porsche here. Let's take a look at this from the other end.
At least half the field hasn't pitted.
So we got half the people pitted, half the people not. You can almost see the divide in the track where that happened on their track map on the right-hand side of your screen. Led by the 18 car is all the guys that have pitted, and then the guys that haven't pitted, they're out in that pack in front.
Nordrum, Kerstetter, Griffith, Mercer, Flamger, holding serve as it is.
And looking good doing it, man. These guys are flying up here. We're getting lap times in, solidly in the 143s already on full race fuel.
Nixon in your picture-in-picture, almost pushing Fazli Majid down the straightaway. Almost bumped him a couple times in the final hairpin, and this looks like it's an overtake waiting to happen. Moves for the switcheroo in turn 1, and that's going to be done and dusted.
Very nice move.
25 for the BMW.
Very, very nice move. Nixon moving up. We got so many close trains up further in the field. It's hard to know which battle to watch, but Schwartz here, looks like he was the top of our silver drivers, I believe, or no, Sparks was ahead of him. So he's maintained that second place in the silver drivers. Sparks is out in front of him by a little ways there.
Jeff Spangler went off and then made an unsafe rejoin and drove into the side of one of our Aston Martins. It appeared to have been Fazli Majid. I was trying to figure out what happened in the picture-in-picture there, but he just kind of re-entered from the side and all of a sudden was on the racetrack.
Oh no.
Looks like the stewards might have their hands full on the first night of the season.
Yeah, it's funny to see. Sometimes we get some guys that are a little bit rusty coming back, and things don't go quite to plan. It's like, well, we haven't had this close a racing, because in the off season, I'll be honest, I don't find servers that race this cleanly and this closely.
Yeah, it's very tough, and when you do, it's one or two drivers.
Yeah.
So it's really tough to practice for something like this in the off season, but it's a steep learning curve.
Patrick Rust is in pit lane, and he's got some damage on the back of that car.
Oh, did somebody tap into the back of him, or did he lose it and go into the wall?
I didn't see it, but he's got some diffuser damage, and he's going to need to get that. Well, we're going to assume he needs to get it taken care of. He did not. He was down and gone, so he is leaving with a little damage on the back of the car.
Must have decided it wasn't enough to slow him down. There's not if it's just aero damage on this track, you can definitely get away with not having to repair it, because it's not like you have great big long straightaways where you're going to lose a ton of time and speed going trying to draft or losing time because your car is not quite as slippery through the air.
He just fell in right behind Ryan Walker, and he's got a little scuff on the hood as well. So these cars that are that were nose to tail might have been a little nosier and a little tailier than each other liked. We got a request to see that rejoin on replay. I'm not sure if we can.
Yeah,
we won't be able to go that far back.
Yeah,
but,
unfortunately, because it's a live feed, we can't jump all the way back to something that happened a minute or two ago. If we catch it right in the moment, we can usually jump back, which I think you kind of did in the PIP there. I'll try to be a little more observant with the main screen for you guys, because that's definitely going to be the main action now. Is there? That at D1, you're not going to see a lot of guys that are able to just simply go faster than another guy because they're so close, as you saw from the qualifying times. It's gonna be when a guy makes a mistake, when he gets just a little bit offline, or somehow just gets distracted, or gets a little bit lulled to sleep by lap after lap during this hour-long race. That's when the passes are going to happen, and that's the moments we're trying to catch. So we'll try to keep a close eye.
John Sparks and his McLaren are starting to look a little bit slippery, and he's now got a pair of Lamborghinis staring down his mirrors. Starting to become a little bit of a cork in the bottle here in 6th position.
Yeah,
Only
no doubt.
15 minutes into the race, a little early to have tire wear issues. Have you two done any full-length stint practice yet?
I actually just did earlier today, and my teammate did some yesterday. Oh, we got a pass happening here, coming up on the inside. We got Brooker Quigg trying to take that position away from Schwartz. Oh, it looks like he had to back out of it there because he wasn't going to get around the outside, but boy, he is fighting hard at the back end of that Lamborghini.
Just take a look at how big the gap is between those two cars now. Sorry to interject and change the topic, but that's why we say there's not really any opportunities to make overtakes here other than those two corners. Not only is there no safe, good bet opportunity to make it happen and make it stick, but you really lose so much time battling in those areas.
No doubt.
The last two cars that haven't pitted, Fernandez and Crown, are in a straight fight. Crown is looking all over. He's on Fernandez like a wet blanket. That's for 19th.
Let's ride on board as he tries to make this pass. He's going through the final couple of corners here. Let's see if he gets to. Oh, he's going to dive to the pits. He's decided he's been held up enough. He can't get around Fernandez, and he's just going to go take that time, take that chance to go back and hopefully get some clear track.
That's what we talked about, is how do you know when you're getting held up? He knew he was, and he went ahead and bailed out. So what's going to happen is on the flip side, when Fernandez responds, where's he going to come out?
Right. Yep. Is he going to be behind him or in front of him? Is he going to have some fast laps to put in right now while Crown's in the pit? And is Crown going to find a great spot when he comes out and be able to lay down some fast laps so that when Fernandez pits, he's behind him? That was a great pit stop. 3 seconds and he's gone.
He's got scuffs on the front and back of his car as well. So I think that we might have had a little nosy and taily on John Crown's car too.
Oh no. Oh, Nate Speck and Peter O'Brien come together.
Let's see if we can capture this full screen. Here we get the replay of it. Let's see if we can check what happened here. May have gone back a little bit too far, but we'll see. Maybe he just missed his braking point. Yep, he looks like he got late and tried to go inside right there. That was, if he was actually trying to make that pass, that seemed like a little bit of a desperate dive in my opinion, but we'll let the steward sort that out. But that didn't end well for either one of them, that's for sure.
It's so hard to pass here. At some point, these drivers, as fast as they are, they can't wait. You can't wait. If Ayrton Senna said, if there's a gap, car. Here, if it's half a car, half a gap, half a car,
yeah,
we'll take what we can get. Take anything we can get.
Yeah.
Because this is highly competitive racing at this level, and there's not a lot of room. Sometimes you got to make your own lane. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, it does get dicey. But boy, look at this train we've got mid-pack here. This is for 30th through 36th place. We've got all these cars lined up nose to tail, and there's not a half second between any of them.
And in your picture-in-picture, you've got two mid-engine cars that just about drove into each other there, but I was going to say we're driving side by side for what looks like the entirety of Sector 1.
Hey, we've had a request for a little more audio from the track.
Okay, we
If
can
there's any
bump.
way we could
Yeah,
boost
we
that
could.
up a little bit.
I think we
Full
could bump that
volume.
up for you guys a little bit.
Give
think-
them nothing but tire noise.
I can do it. Brum, brum, brum.
Yeah, it
How's
is
that?
true.
Brum.
I do. I didn't adjust my audio to be adjusted for my normal settings. Which when I'm driving, I turn down the engine noise a little bit and turn up the tire noise just so I can get a better grasp of what my tires are doing on the track. It does look like for some reason I am locked out of changing my ACC audio right now. I can maybe
O'Brien
fix
looks
that
to
up.
go up the inside of Danny Durant's, and he looks like he's going to make it work. One of
Yep.
the only other spots on the track to make an overtake happen. Turn number, I think, 5.
Mm-hmm. That's a place to do it, and you can. And if you want some relief or let a faster driver by, turn 5's a place you can do it without losing a lot of time because it's wide open. You can go. It's about one of the few places you can go two lanes wide there, and not just have to get out of the gas.
Yeah, for sure. But it also really proves what Dudley was saying earlier, where if you're coming up on a slower car, it's really at the apex, and you're only getting by if they make a mistake, and that's what happened. Just the understeer kicked in, and the car slid right off the apex. Only because of that did the lane open up for him. As Fernandez comes into the pits now.
Okay. Let's see where he comes out with Crown. That was the battle. Let's see if the undercut.
The pip is
The undercut
watching.
worked. And let's hear it for the guys in the chat as well. Thanks for showing up tonight, guys.
Yeah, it's great to have you all alongside. We wouldn't have anybody to be doing this for if you weren't here.
And as you can see, the McLaren car turns right in front of that purple Audi. John Crown has the position by 1 second.
All right, so Crown did
There
get
it
the
is.
undercut.
That's it. He knew he was faster.
Had to do it the long way. Sometimes you gotta play the long game. And that's what makes these D1 drivers just a little bit different.
You know, it's challenging sometimes when we call races where there's a lot more variance in talent. Here we can call this race from 1,000 miles away because everybody's at the top of their game, and there's very, very few mistakes made, and we can tell you what's going to happen long before it is because these guys don't miss.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Ferrari. It's good to have you with us, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff going on in this race overall. We do have. Let's just check in on your leaders up here. So Nordstrom has gapped Kerstetter quite a bit. He's almost out by 2 seconds on the front, so he's just putting in lap after banging lap out there. He's now settled in nicely in the low 144s. Gosh, I wish I could lap like that. And Kerstetter's right there, just maybe a tenth or two off of him every lap. So he's just slowly stretching that gap out front. You can see he's still fairly smooth through his lines right here. You know, it doesn't look like he's having to push the car too hard. He's probably settled in pretty well at this point. Everything looks pretty good. Let's take a look at Kerstetter. He's like I said, about 2 seconds back. He's falling now here, but he might just be biding his time, saving some tires for a push later in the race too. A few seconds back from that, we've got Griffith in third place. That's Nordstrom's teammate, also in the Porsche with the beautiful shark cloud livery. And then we got another second back from that. We got Mr. Mercer here in the BMW. So we got 3 different car makes in the top 4, which is good to see that kind of difference. So completing your top 5, closest battle in the top 5. We got Flamger that close, about just under a second behind Mercer there.
Hey, how's that BOP working? Pretty nice, I say.
It seems like the times are pretty evenly matched, right?
Coadromo had not pitted. He's not clean yet. However, though, our leaders are now 11 seconds behind the back of the field. And it's likely we're not real far off as we see some more of these leaders start pitting. We might see some traffic.
Oh, we're getting very close to that point in the night.
Now that is
Because I
sorry.
don't have the information, Dudley, can you tell me what position is the highest person who has pitted?
Okay, let's take a look here. So pit counts. Yep.
I'm on
So
it.
right now,
Let's see.
Moaning is the highest driver with 1 pit stop on there
Yes.
P19. He is
in the Honda.
2 seconds outside P1, just on pit stop time alone.
Wow.
He is 37 seconds from the leader.
Yeah, that's impressive. Okay, so this is things are going to get real interesting here as the rest of the field has to make their pit stops. The interesting thing too is some of the leaders now, as we were talking about it, they're about 10 seconds or so from encountering the tail end of the field by catching in its own tail and eating itself. When they do that, which is pretty much inevitably going to happen on a track that's as small and short as this one, is that the time to take a pit stop? Do you dive in then and try to not have to deal with any lap traffic? Does that save time? What's your guys' strategy? What do you think?
Nordstrom is the key. If he hits traffic, he's got to come in because he's got 1.4 seconds to spare right now to Kerstetter. He doesn't have it in him to wait. If he has to wait for a second, he's lost. So I'd say that everybody holds serve right until Nordstrom hits the back of the traffic. What do you think, Josh?
I disagree.
Aha.
If I was Nordstrom, just looking at the track map, there is a massive gap in front of that second back marker to the next person in the back of the field. If he can because of this track and the nature that it is, similar to Mount Panorama, if he can get past a back marker before getting into the S's each lap, I think it's almost strategically going to help maintain the gap because Kerstetter won't have an opportunity to force himself past. He'll have to kind of relax, and there's nowhere for the blue flag car to safely give up that spot either.
Looks like we might have had something happen. Sorry, guys, to interrupt here. Looks like we might have had something happen back here. We had a big gaggle of cars. Looks like they made a little bit of contact. I went back to catch this replay here. They all bunched up for a second, but it looks like they've sorted themselves back out. We had a couple switches of position through there, but now we're back to live racing. So we got Spangler, Wilson, and Majid are definitely battling it out here on track.
Everyone who had money on the fact we'd use the word gaggle before the first half of the race is up, you are now a winner.
What do you guys think in the chat? Is the strategy for Nordstrom as soon as he encounters lap traffic to pit or not pit? Let's take a poll right now in the chat. Throw it out there. Waiting. What's the poll?
There you go.
There's also one other mentality to consider. In a track like this and the abuse that it puts on the tires, do you also just look to take the old school split the race in half and give the tires a break around the 30-minute mark?
Yeah, there's Max Diggs says Travis should pit late. Or at least, I don't know. If he's free and clear, he's got to go. If he's not free and clear.
All right. Okay, Leb says pit. Mr. Ferrari says play it safe and pit before encountering the bat markers. Pit early. Yep. So I see the majority of people saying, yep, is he would pit. Pit the second you come up on traffic. So that seems to be the majority opinion. We'll see what Mr. Nordstrom decides to do. And meanwhile, as we talked about, Moaning and the fact that he is still the leader of the cars that have pitted, his gap back is how far now?
Still 37.
Okay, so he's maintaining that gap though. That's important. So if he's sorry.
Oh, see, Manning is only a second and a half behind Dylan Stallworth, who hasn't pitted. So soon, Manning's going to end up getting held up by non-pitters.
Yeah.
That's going to end up hurting his race. And now he's got a gap between Mr. Sir. He's got 7 seconds, Mr. Stir behind him. But Manning's going to end up saying, guys, I got to go. But right now, the top 15 have not pitted. And Michael Manning is just about to start telling people we got to get the show on the road.
Well, it's impressive. He's pushing that Honda as fast as he is around this track. And if you want to talk any more about BOP, that car would have zero chance of contention in most of the races if we weren't balancing performances, as far as I know. Like, I've never been able to get that thing to be a competitive car. Now, granted, I'm not nearly the driver that most of these guys are, but man, that's super cool to see that he's after the pit stops to shake out, he's going to be in contention here.
Fixed it. Well, he just got fixed too. Dylan Stallworth got the first drive-through monster of the season, and that will clear out Manning.
No kidding.
Before he has a chance to catch him.
Boy, things are working in his favor, aren't they, man? That's just excellent.
The monster has attacked.
Wow.
She is out and fierce tonight.
We're looking
I do
at-
not think that's going to be our last one.
Yeah, it does.
No,
There's
no.
a few places on this track it's easy to get them. Now we're taking a look here at Jordan Sparks, who is your silver driver leader still currently, but Schwartz has closed that gap up to him quite significantly. He's less than half a second off the rear bumper now, and it seems like Schwartz is continuing to put pressure on him. They qualified extremely close together in that silver division. I think it was like 5 thousandths or something like that between their two qualifying times. So it'll be an interesting battle if they decide to stay on track and fight this out.
We just got help from the chat as well. We've got a note: the leader would come out just in front of the 96 with open room. That would cover off the chance of anybody undercutting him. So Josh is not so far off base there. If you come in, you might be able to head off that undercut.
And again, that time is from the pit entry line to the pit exit line. If Nordstrom makes a mistake coming into the pits, doesn't take it as fast as he possibly could, or even just as fast as Menning took it, that's going to increase the amount of time. So it could, with it only being about a second to 2 seconds to play, they could be on top of each other.
Very much.
I'm watching Mercer and Griffith.
The thing we should have noticed would have been the gap between John and Vasquez.
Here's Mercer, not the shortstop, is looking all over Michael Griffith. There it is. Look at that. He is buzzing about.
That Beamer is just sniffing the back end of that Porsche.
Yeah, he's moving around too, letting him know I am here. I'm filling your beer up. Stop and go 30. Where is it?
I don't see it.
Somebody's got to stop and go 30, and I can't find them.
I don't. Where did they go? Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Unless they already served it somehow.
It might have just been served, and we skipped it. But because we were watching. We were watching a lot of action.
No
There's
doubt.
too much going on. We told you these guys are so fast we can't even keep up with them all.
No kidding. We got to be pretty quick on the broadcaster clicking to keep up in this division.
Rode you over in the pits.
All right. We are seeing some
He's
pit
like on a
action in the
straight
top
fight.
15. Yeah. We are seeing finally some pit action here from the top cars, which it's going to be really interesting to see where they fall back out in the grid. Oh, it looks like our chat's helping us out. It does look like whoever got that stop go 30, he decided he was not going to race for the rest of the evening. I think we have lost one car. We did have 41 cars
did.
in, and now we're only at 40. So I think you might be onto something there, Bobby D.
Yeah, you got it. So now I got to figure out who don't we have.
Great question. That's a great question.
It is not Koa. He's still kicking it out.
We see Dylan Stallworth. He only had a drive-through though. Oh, I'll tell you, I know what it was. He served his pit. Yeah, he served his penalty, and when he came in, he speeded in and got the stop and go 30.
That's what it
Didn't come
was.
out
Yep.
And said, "You gotta be kidding me."
Yeah, he got the drive-through, and then while serving the drive-through, he got a stop go 30, and he decided he didn't want to play.
Well,
That
insult and injury.
Yeah, I've had it happen. Unfortunately, but it's it's all part of the race, right?
It's one of those where you're racing and the wife yells down to downstairs to your racing rig and says, "Hey, dinner's ready." I can't. I'm racing. Then it's, don't worry, I'm coming.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I'll quit.
And dinner just got better. Hey, we
Here, jump on
digress.
board as he throws it in for the pass here. Manning's throwing it past Stefyuk. So he did just overtake a car that has not pitted.
He had to. He didn't have time to wait.
Yeah.
Now, he's got plenty of room ahead of him now, but he could not wait. Because when it's all said and done, Manning's going to end up in that top 5. But he's got he's got 7 silver drivers ahead of him, and not a one of them have pitted. He has got to. Well, he doesn't have to do anything right now because he's got 14 seconds up to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some space to run now for sure.
He might be in better shape than we think because he can just run flat out. A lot of these other guys, they got a little traffic to dodge.
Yeah. Looks like Schwartz is putting the pressure again on Sparks up here. He's just maintained that less than a half-second gap. And it's through this, unfortunately, as I've talked about, through this middle section of the course, it doesn't matter if you can maintain that gap through there, if you're through the curvy section, because you're not, as long as the car in front of you keeps it tight on those apexes, you're not going to get around him. You're just not going to go around the outside of a guy at this level of racing.
Here it is. Leaders just ran across some blue flag traffic. Travis Nordstrom just got held up just a little. And that was a 573. Who's the 573?
Oh, that was a little tap.
So right now, Kerstetter has got to work his way around the blue flagged car.
Okay.
Oh, it's at 670. That's be Williams. And so Williams has now split the leaders.
All right, we'll jump to that now. Just real quick, we were showing you Carpenter here. Got a little offline and then got tapped into and got moved off a little bit. We had a quick yellow flag for him, but he's back on the course and holding position in P10 now. Let's flip back up front.
Also had a yellow flag for Jeff Spangler. Oh, he disconnected from the race.
Oh, Spangler had enough as well tonight. He was having a rough time.
He drove through the wall and down through the racetrack.
Oh, so he must have had
the wildlands.
Internet disconnection of some kind. We have our own kind of mechanical failure here in sim racing. That's not just like the car failing in the real racing. It's when our internet connections fail, or we've had steering wheels explode and catch on fire. We've had all kinds of exciting things happen in sim racing.
I've had my steering wheel just disconnect because I hit a curb too hard.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So
thanks,
Kerstetter has cleared the blue flagged car, and he's off and running. And we got a ways back before we get to Griffith. So the two leaders are free and clear, 1.2 seconds apart from each other, running the same speed. We got a barn burner. I don't think anybody's going to catch these guys on speed.
No, the two out front, Kerstetter and Nordstrom on this track right now are in a different league. They are 7 seconds ahead of third place now. It's going to take a major issue like a blue flag car making a mistake in front of them and somehow causing an accident or something like that. Which God forbid, I wouldn't want that to happen. But boy, these guys are just super fast and dialed in at this point.
Yep. So the race is afoot, and now we know whose feet it is. Nordstrom and Kerstetter, and Nordstrom has just held serve. He hasn't been flapped, bothered, or worried about any of it. He is just moving on. We got a pro race on our hands. And Kerstetter just ran wide and lost about a half a second.
Yeah, he sure did. He was closing the gap on Nordstrom a little bit after getting past that lapped car, but it's getting to that time in the race where you definitely are. We were talking briefly about it earlier, and then we got interrupted by some awesome racing action, but we're talking about a full race length simulation and having run, both my teammate run one and then I ran one, and this is about the time where you'll really start to feel that tire wear setting in. You're past the midpoint of the race. We got about 23 minutes to go. You're getting into that final third, and And boy, this is where you're just starting to notice, boy, the car just won't drive out of the corner the way it did. If the car's getting lighter on fuel, so it's starting to feel a little bit different. You're just going to start to feel some different things for sure with the tire wear at this point of the race.
Now, Jeff Spangler is in chat, and he said the early incident with between him and Matt Manning was an internet issue as well.
Oh no!
Aw, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think he might have some technical problems on the ISP side that made his day a lot worse than it should have been.
Definitely hate to see
I
that.
guess he's going to be calling tech support and letting them know that they owe him a refund.
Yeah.
We're
closing in here.
I'm going to
Could
slip
be
out
a
of the
dive
booth
to turn 1.
Slipping out of the booth for 2 minutes. Be right back.
All right.
No problem.
Who's going to get a pass here? Done. Flamager going around Stefiuk. Now, I think that's the second position Stefiuk's lost in the last few laps. So I don't know if he's really struggling more with the tire wear or what's going on, but he has not been able to stay in pace of either Manning or Stefiuk at this point. Or sorry, Flamager at this point. And they both paid up some positions at his expense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors there. Could be as simple as just the tires are getting too hot on that Lamborghini. You know, it's a bit of a heavier car. It's nimble, but it still requires some work. And in my experience, it really uses its front tires a lot. So, like you were saying with the tire wear, I'm sure he's just starting to feel it and could probably benefit from a trip to the pits just to regain some lap time.
Oh yeah, another point that I just saw too is Stefiuk is in the silver driver class. So those 2 positions he just lost, while they are positions on track in the race, they are not positions in his class. So it is almost a little bit to be expected that those gold drivers would find their way around the silver driver.
That is a very valid point. I did not notice that at first either. Mercer is into the pits.
All right, Mercer taking his pit stop. Take a look at that. Yep, looks like he went down and away. He got in and out quick because I didn't even catch him in the actual pit box. He's already coming back out on track. Let's see what position he ends up in here. All right, looks like he comes out in 11th place with plenty of room to make some clean, fast laps as he gets the benefit of the tires that have cooled off a little bit during that time of slowing down and taking the pit stop. Oftentimes, when you come back out of the pits, the tires have cooled just a little bit. You get them as you're warming them back up. You can put in some really good laps now that the fuel has burned most of the way out of the car.
For sure. But something similar to the start of the race that's been heightened so much since 1.9 is how sensitive the tires can be to being damaged from over abuse if they're not quite in the window yet. So, I don't know. I'm looking at that gap behind him to Flamager sitting at 2 seconds, and I don't know. As much as he's got the room in front of him, he also can't really afford to dawdle out there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You can see the lack of warmth in the tires just coming through the S's, losing little bits of tenths here and there.
Yep, that next lap though, once he gets those tires warmed back up, since they had that little bit of time to relax, a lot of times you end up making that time back up by getting a really good second lap
As
out of
long
the
as
pit
you
lane.
don't grain them, yes.
Yep. Yeah, you can't push them too hard, that's for sure. This is the time of the race where you can definitely do some damage. It does look like we have one of our leaders into the pits. Griffith has decided to pit.
And Rania Over has spun around. We'll catch a replay of that on the picture-in-picture here.
Yeah, take a look at that.
Fighting real hard with Nate Specht. Oh, and snap oversteer in the S's. Did happen to them a couple laps previous when they were battling with some other cars. And, yeah, I mean, once the tires get hot, they don't grip up the same. You don't really have the same confidence in the car, and things like that happen.
All right, now take a look at this. That's true. Very, very good points on that. Griffith, who was running 3rd place since the beginning of the race, but he had gapped quite a bit back from the leaders, as we saw, almost 7 seconds back. Now, sure enough, he comes out behind, what is it now? 3 other people that have already pitted. Is that right? Am I reading this right? Yes, 3 other people that have already pitted. So he's net 4th place now. And that's
less
kind of
than
giving
that.
us giving us a good indicator here based on what we're seeing. The leaders, the Nordstrom and Kerstetter, I mean, they're out front by a lot right now, but we could see some of these guys that have pitted very early contending for those lead spots here at the end of the race. It's gonna heat up here, folks. Don't turn off this Twitch stream.
Now,
And-
Griffith did also have a long stop. Griffith had 8 seconds stopped. So that will
Oh,
also account
That
to
did
him
it.
dropping
Okay,
the
yep.
extra positions as
that's
well.
an extra 3 seconds in the pit lane from a perfect stop.
That cost him at least 3 spots, maybe 4. But also, this is where we talked about Manning had to go. Now he's the leader of all cars that have pitted.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go. He couldn't wait on any lap traffic or other traffic otherwise. So he's now kind of the leader of the clubhouse based on what Nordstrom, Kerstetter, Sparks, and Schwartz do. But I think that Nordstrom and Kerstetter are going to be the ones that are going to cycle out and still be ahead of him.
As long as they have good pit stops. But look at all this open track in front of Manning. I mean, he's got so much space to just keep putting in hot lap after hot lap right now. He's pitted. He has nothing else to worry about. He doesn't have to think about when he might come in. He's got a clear mind, clear space. He's ready to just lay down laps for the rest of this race.
Yeah, he's a guy that has room to improve his overall elapsed time. And if I were him, I'd have the foot through the firewall, I'd grip it tight, and I'd hit every apex I could get my hands on.
Oh,
It may
man.
pay off for him. He might like it when he's done.
Spangler's in the chat still here. Spangler, are you saying you've been connecting on Wi-Fi and that's what you're thinking possibly the issue is? You're saying get a big Ethernet cord. Does that mean you got to run it across your whole house or something?
That's what I've got. Here we go. Here comes the 192. Just came through traffic. Griffith. Just got by Roney over. Ran him
Okay.
over.
Yep. Let's take a look at that pass.
Sometimes they write themselves.
Let's take a pass. That was great. Oh, he went a little wide, so yeah, he just kind of let him go there, or he just got wide, and that was that.
Well, tonight's not Ronya's night. Nothing wrong with that in this crowd. Like I said, you could turn this whole field upside down, and I wouldn't bat an eye. But anyway, so he went ahead and did the honorable thing. Next time it'll be somebody else that's
Who else is
giving him
diving
the-
the
giving
pits
the break.
there? The Mountain Dew livery.
Steffi.
That Cefiak slide
Yep.
diving into the pits. All right, so let's see. Keep an eye to where he comes out, but we got a really close battle here with Nixon just pushing the rear bumper of Mr. Sir. It's not often you see somebody pushing the back end of Mr. Sir's car, but boy, he is all over the back of him.
It's Bavaria on Bavaria violence.
No doubt. Let's take a look at this from the inside.
That is a Bavarian cream pie donut right there.
He's got that Lego wall to try to climb over
Oh,
right
take it
now.
back. I thought those two BMWs in the distance. That actually is an Aston Martin.
Yes.
So my attempt at humor failed miserably.
It made it even funnier though.
So in that case, it's a Germany and Britain source of violence, and we've seen that before. They should all go meet in Belgium and talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Get some waffles.
How did that work out?
Yes, same way twice.
Yeah. That Lego wall is looking formidable, though. Mr. Sir is not going to give up this position easily. So Nixon's going to have to get real creative if he wants to take that spot away and just find the spots where he's able to maybe just make Mr. Sir think he's making a move, where he goes a little bit defensive into a corner and gets him offline just a little bit. Get in his head a little bit, make him think you're crazy, as a content creator I like to watch says. And here he might have a run on him come out of this final corner here. Let's take a watch down the front straight.
Oh, if Nixon hits the back of that of Mr. Sir, there's gonna be damage for 40 square blocks.
Stop it, man. Oh, I wish I had a sound effect right now. Oh. If you guys in the chat, just put an exclamation point in the chat if you got that joke. There it is. All right.
Nice. I wasn't even waiting on that. I just saw the Lego cars. Hey, there you go.
All right, looks like Manning's found himself some traffic back there that we're keeping track of in the PIP, or is that another car? What where are you focused on there, Josh?
This 5-car train has been an absolute treat for the last, I don't know, 6 laps, just going back and forth on top of each other. We've got Foz Majid, Riley, Duran, Wilson, Simmons, and now Nate Specht has come to join the party as well. They've been making overtakes in the S's, they're making overtakes at the Kink.
Oh, no doubt. Look at him.
These drivers are just taking the IndyCar lines for track limits
Going
too,
off
like, they're
tracks,
doing
yeah,
everything.
that's all over the place.
Yeah.
Speaking of off tracks, Nixon gets a little wide, trying to push hard to get on the back end of Mr. Sir. Gives Mr. Sir just a little bit of breathing room up there for just a minute with this Beamer battle.
So these guys go 2x2 through the chicane and keep it alive. They're still going through the S's. Nate behind's just sitting there going, please touch.
No kidding. He's just waiting to gobble up a position for free, isn't he?
Honestly, he's whispering in his ear about free real estate.
Oh, wow. Look at how close he was to the back bumper of that car.
He's gonna look for
He's
the
going to dive
switchback here.
inside. Yeah,
Taking
looking
a lot of
nice.
speed to the apex.
That's a beautiful move. Can he get it done? Can he finish it? Oh, they touch a little bit. Is he going to go back in through the other side?
Simmons
I think he
exerts
lost
right
his
to the
position.
apex. What a good battle.
I think he lost his chance there. I think he just overcooked the front tires going into that one hairpin there by being on the wide line. It's so hard going in on a wider line on that second to last corner.
C, professional race car driving at SRA on Tuesday nights.
On
Beautiful.
Wednesday nights. The other bunch of us try.
Yeah, tomorrow night, tune in as well. Some of the rest of us will be driving around this racetrack for fun.
Not like this.
Not like this.
Might look more like Abu Dhabi 2021 with some safety cars, but
Yeah, just as long as it doesn't look like the practice race. That's what I'm worried about. We had a huge turn 3 pile up in the practice race for SRA in Division 3 and 4.
hey, same with Division 1 and 2.
Oh, geez. Look at this. He's
Consistency is
going
key
on the
here at this
inside. He
league.
tucks it in just slightly underneath Mr. Sir's bumper. Had him thinking twice. Let's take a look at the front camera here again as he tries to make a move on that Lego brick wall. He's going to try to make it as wide as he can on the back of that Aston Martin. This BMW with the big sniffing front end, just looking for any breath of air he can find on either side of that car. Oh, man, this is exciting
Where's
stuff.
he going to make his run? Okay, we think Nixon has got the pace, but where's he going to do it?
It seems to be in the
turn 5.
Yeah, it seems to be turns 5 through 8 where he really is making the time on Mr. Sir every time. And down this front straight, he can't seem to get quite a good a run on him. But we'll watch here again and see if maybe he can push hard out of this final corner.
Well, what do you think? Do you think that the fact that the Aston Martin's got so much weight in the front, while the BMW is a little more evenly weighted, you think you give him a chance to...
Oh, he goes defensive. He's going on the outside. Let's take a look. Oh, he had to tuck back in, but he definitely made Mr. Sir take an alternate line into the first corner. That's what you got to start doing. Okay, he's getting on his outside now. He's making him stay defensive again. He's trying the underside. He's going every which side on this guy right now.
Do you guys smell that? I smell an accident coming.
Let's hope not. Let's hope they can keep it clean here. I see some good racing so far. They've only slightly brushed each other's sides for just a little bit, but this is the section where the BMW seems to make a little bit of time on the Aston. And I think you're right. It may be the more balanced approach that the BMW has compared to the Aston, but boy, it sure is exciting to watch either way.
If you think about that Aston Martin, it's a twin turbocharge, and so it doesn't get out of the corners so good. But once it spools up, it's fast. So at the end of the lap, your BOP works itself out. But I don't like that Aston Martin in the twisty bits one bit.
Yeah. I thought he was going to get a good run on him there, but he ran a little bit wide and he had to brake at the exit because he was going to get a track limit. I wonder where his track limit count is right now. It'd be nice if we could see the driver's track limit counts because it looked like Nixon had to work hard to avoid getting one right there.
Yeah, it'd be very
Well,
nice
Nixon's got bigger problems behind him. He's got Hepburn right behind him.
Yeah, they've all stacked up now. It seems like Mr. Sir's kind of corking the bottle up for this whole train now, and we may see quite the battle here for all the way 12th through 15th.
If you're Nixon, you're saying, go Pegasus, go.
Yeah. So meanwhile, out front, let's take a quick break. Just take a quick glance up at the leaders. We got Nordstrom out front by almost 2 seconds. We got Kerstetter behind him there, like I said, about 2 seconds back. And then we got a 23, almost 24-second gap back to third place. Now, that's our silver class drivers. Now, all these guys up here, as we've talked about a little bit, have yet to pit. So these guys are going to be moving back further in the field. It's just a matter of where they're going to slot in. But with a 23-second gap out front, those guys are not going to fall back very far because, as we said, it's about a 34-second gap or 34-second loss in the pit lane, including your stop time and your driving time in and out of the pit. So 34 seconds right now would only put you about 5th, 6th, 7th place, somewhere in there. So you're not going to fall all the way back. That's for our leader to stop. Would be back in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. Sorry about that. What do you guys think? What are you seeing out there? What do you think in the chat, too?
Thinking it's all going to start popping off here in the next 5 minutes.
It's about has to, right?
Yes.
We're down under 10 minutes left in this race. Guys are really feeling out their tires as they finish out races. We're starting to think about who we're going to get to interview after this sucker. And we're just excited to see how it all wraps up.
Don't
Nixon,
go anywhere, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Don't move.
And meanwhile, Nixon is still just painting the back end of that Lego car with the front end of his Beamer.
He's going to start stacking blocks in a minute.
Meanwhile, the other Lexus car is starting to have a bunch of cars pile up behind it as well, with Riley now pushing Fosley through the corner.
Boy, both those guys in the Lego cars seem to be struggling. Maybe they didn't get as much time as they wanted to in on their setups. Oh, we might see a dive to the inside here.
Duran just spun out in the last corner, and he is parked sideways, blocking the racing line.
Oh, no. I'm going to jump back and see if we can catch the replay of what exactly happened here. Looks like, we got people tapping in. There's a big cluster here. He's going to head down.
It looked like he just got up on the inside curb and it unsettled the car.
Oh, that's what happened.
Great job with the cars behind to avoid that one.
Absolutely. So, yeah, he just, it almost looked like a little bit of net code possibly there. I don't know that they even actually made contact, but it definitely was unfortunate. We still got action going on like crazy here now as he's kind of slotted back a little bit further into some other cars. If you want to keep an eye on that, I'm going to switch back and see if Nixon can get this overtake done up for 12th place that he's been trying so hard for all race. There's another battle for 9th and 10th, and we'll try to keep an eye on that too, but I don't think it's quite as close as this one is.
Yeah, from Darth Reckoner in chat. Okay, who is the driver of the race? I mean, is it Nordstrom for just sticking it out there up front and not being flapped at all? Is it Kerstetter for chasing him down? Is it going to be Michael Manning for driving his guts out in free air and making up time? Who is it?
Yeah, let us know in the chat. That'd be a great thing to vote on a little bit here. We'll try to get an interview with our driver of the day as well. We'll definitely try to get an interview with our race leader, our race winner. Sorry.
Or is the driver of the day Ryan Yee for not showing up? That way, someone else can win.
Thank you, Mr. Yee.
Yes, no doubt. Our BOP tester himself. Here we go. He's on the inside. He's fighting him off this corner. Look at this. There's neck and neck coming out. Down into the corner 3, I guess you'd call this one. Corner 2. He's on the outside here, though. If he can stick it on the outside. Yeah, if he can stick it out there, though, and get inside of him here. Oh, nope. He had to duck back in. There's no way. Oh, now he got loose. And now he's fighting traffic from behind. Hepburn's right up and trying to make a pass on the inside of him. They're going to go hard in the fast left-hander. Try not to get out too far on the curb there. We're careful with the track limits at this point, as most of these guys have probably maxed out their track limits at this point, and one more would be a drive-through penalty, would absolutely ruin any chance of any of these positions being taken. Let's see if he can tighten that gap back up onto the back of Mr. Sir, as that train is just continuing to bunch back up behind him as that Lego brick wall stacks up.
Hepburn, Butcha, and Robinson stacking up, ready to pounce. So here's the twisty bits. See here's where Nixon gets to make his move. See, as they come here to the last sector.
Terrible camera angle.
It's going to stretch out. he's going to stretch it out once
Yep.
he gets through this.
That Aston does just have the legs to run down the front straight, but Nixon has a couple of times been able to get either inside or outside of him, just barely getting into the braking zone in corner one. Let's see what he does this time around. Let's ride on board with him as he chases him down the front straight.
There you go.
He's going inside. He's going inside. Let's take a look up above. Oh, and they touch.
Oh, and they make contact.
Oh. And he stops. He's being the gentleman and letting him back around. That's true sportsmanship there of not just driving away and taking that position after he knew it was his mistake for getting in too deep on the brakes. So Nixon gives up the position to another guy. They both lose positions and they're back to 12th and 13th. Or I think they're further back than that now. They're probably back in 17th and 15th. Yeah. Out front, we still have yet to see our leaders pit. Oh, we are seeing Nordstrom pit now. Kerstetter's coming in right behind them. They're going to just pit at the same time, so there's no overcut or undercut here. They're just deciding to do it together.
And your picture-in-picture is currently following Michael Menning, so we will see where he is in relation to these two as they get ready to leave the pits.
Where's he on the track now?
Coming into the penultimate corner.
Kerstetter had a much better pit entry.
Yeah, he caught up a lot. He was right on the back bumper of him, basically, when they did cross the speeding speed limit line. They did both just have great pit stops. It was almost synced up when they jacked up and dropped.
Menning just crossed the timing line.
Okay, so Nordstrom stays out front.
Oh, and Travis just drove off and left him on pit exit, and it should be free and clear to take himself home.
Yeah, you're more than likely looking at your race winner right now, folks. I'd hate to jinx him with a broadcaster curse, but I don't see too many things that could interrupt this race. And he's done a great job just driving his race, stuck it out front from the very beginning, and didn't let anything get under his skin.
That was the last lap they could have pitted.
Yep, they took it right to the end. Kerstetter here in second place did great as well. Didn't end up pushing too hard. It's easy when you're in second place thinking, I can get that race win, and you end up pushing too hard, burn your tires up, and you don't even end up with second place. And how about Manning? Third place on the as we're getting towards the final lap here. What great strategy here as he pitted super early and it looks like going to come home with a podium in third place.
John Sparks, leader in silver. Nice race.
Very nice. He qualified just barely out in front of the second place in silver, at least the second place qualifier. But we got in second place in silver now. We got Michi. Robinson bringing up third place. These guys are all closely grouped. This is still quite a tight battle, and it does look like Mr. Sir is making back up a little bit of time now back here. Nixon, of course, fell back after that, but we've got quite a gaggle of guys trying to fight for the final position as we close down the final few seconds of this race. Now, as this works out, if you're not familiar with timed racing, it's when the leader crosses the line after the timer hits 0. So since it looks like Nordstrom here has just started his lap, he's going to go around a whole nother lap, which means everybody else has to go around a whole nother lap. So we've still got one more lap of battle, and we're on the final lap here. We'll see how everybody sorts everything out. It looks like our top finishers are pretty much have decided their positions. Let's take a look at these midfield battles.
Did everybody except Rodney over, or did he also finish on the lead lap? I think everybody's lead lap.
Wow, that's impressive.
No, Kowadroma is also lapped, as well as Ronya over.
Okay. So just 2 cars lapped on this track, though. That's pretty impressive racing. That means everybody kept it together.
And that's the one person who started from the pit lane and took tires as well, which was Koa.
Oh, geez.
35-second stop. And then Ronya over had a few incidents and some spins, so... Yeah, I mean, that's also going to push you back down the field. Dom Duran taking a late pit stop. I'm wondering if he's out of fuel.
No, drive-through. He got the monster.
Drive-through.
Oh, no.
He got the monster.
That's terrible. Because he got spun out a little bit ago, too. So that's terrible end to his race for him. I'm sure he's going to be fuming a little bit. Oh, we got some action here. Let's see what happened. We got some guys racing tight, but it looks like there's another incident of guys maybe doing a little touchy-touchy. in places they shouldn't be doing it.
PG places. It's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're talking about racing cars. We're not talking about anything else. Yeah, looks like just he got into the brakes a little bit late there and spun
Oh,
him around, and it looks like
That
there
was
was a
almost so much
multiple
worse.
car pile up there
yeah,
actually.
Gomer Wilson? Haven't called his name all day. That's Wilson.
Yeah.
It sure was. He had a
He's-
peaceful day until the last second.
So there's our leaders finishing the race. Nordstrom comes home in first place. Kerstetter second. Manning brings it home in third. Mercer coming home in fourth. Lamger coming home in fifth. And Griffith bringing in sixth. Then we got our first silver class finisher in Sparks coming home in seventh place. Hepburn coming home in eighth. And Michi coming home in ninth place. He's our second silver class car. 10th place, we got Robinson in Lamborghini. Great race from everybody. Mr. Sir, these guys coming across the line in these final battles. We got still people racing to the line back here. Fernandez trying to make time out of the last corner as one little last place trying to make it. But that's it, folks. We're wrapped our first race here in the season 9 for Division 1. And what a race it was, as we have guys having a little fun with their simulated racing cars after the race ends, which you would never do with your real race car after a race ends. But because we're sim racers, we can get away with this kind of stuff.
I'm tired.
Yeah, man, that was it. That took some effort, right? I mean, geez, I can't imagine what these drivers are feeling right now. They must be, they just must be racked from that. But geez, what a race! What a race! So we're gonna flip back to our intermission page, and well, I'm gonna try to hunt down some guys that we want to try to interview here. What did you guys think?
I think that there is no better way we could have started off the season.
That was
What a race.
professional racing. That was a professional race. Uh, you wouldn't have seen a better, cleaner, more professionally run race than the actual SRO guys that ran here. You wouldn't have seen it better. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Could somebody pull up the results page? Unless I think I might have it here.
I
See if
still
I
have
can
our
pull
results.
this.
Travis Nordstrom, Ed Kerstetter, and Michael Menning are our gold podium, and silver podium is John Sparks, Mert Mucha, and Trav Robinson.
All right. So what do you say we talk to our race leader, guys? You wanna pull him in here? We can give him a little rundown, ask for his perspective on the race. Looks like you might have had a boring one up there. Let's find out, huh?
As we were told in the early 2000s, let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, I want to pull in Nordstrom. You ready?
Yeah,
Here we go.
I'll pull him in right now. Here we go. Oh,
What?
he
Oops.
looks like he jumped back out. Oh, now he jumped
Now
back
he's
in.
in here.
Hey,
Hello.
Travis Nordstrom, welcome to the booth, man. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on your race win, man. A way to start the season
Thank
off
you.
strong. You looked fantastic out there. You pretty much led from start to finish. Tell us what it looked like from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like one of my best races ever. I don't think I made like a single major mistake. I had little time losses here and there, but other than that, it was, and Ed had a great race too. It was really,
Mhm.
um, it's always rough when you're think you have a perfect race going, and then you see a guy that's constantly within, a second and a half, and being like, okay, if I make any mistakes, he's still up. He's still there to pick up the pieces. It's so yeah, it was a good race by him too.
We kept saying you were unflappable. You didn't put a step wrong the whole time, and you had
Yeah.
you had somebody that was all over you, and you never missed.
Yep. Yeah, it felt really good.
Yeah, fantastic job, man. What did you was the your we noticed you waited till the very last minute to pit. Was that pretty much your strategy the whole time? Did you ever think about pitting earlier or trying to, you know, relieve some of that pressure or anything like that? Or was that the plan the whole time?
No, the practice race, Ed did that. He got a really good jump on me on the practice race yesterday, and he was P1. He pit early, and I ended up passing him. So I just didn't want to,
Mm.
you know, have a pass happen off track. If he had to pass me, he was gonna have to pass me on the track.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And we noticed you guys ended up pitting together, and then you
Yep.
pretty much left him behind in the pit. How'd your pit stop go from your point of view?
I honestly thought it was gonna be a little bit worse. He got pretty close on the entry, but he might not have
Mhm.
had a great stop or something because the entry looked really close. I thought for sure I had lost like a couple tenths or something on him, and he was gonna be right on my tail as I exited. But he might have messed up somewhere else on the pit stop because yeah, I think I gained 2 seconds or something on him.
You
Hmm.
saw it just right. That's exactly what happened. He had a really good entry. He brought it down to the speed limit at the last second, and then when y'all pulled away, you pitted you're far ahead of him, but then you pulled away at the same time, and you had all that track position on him. So something happened. He may have missed his board,
Yeah,
but he did. You had it won anyway, but you sealed it in the pits.
yeah.
Yeah, great job, man. Great job.
Thank
So
you.
you sealed it on this race. How do you feel going forward into the next one?
Um, I don't know. I haven't driven Olton in a while. I missed that race last season. Is it Olton, right?
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
believe Olton Park is our
Yep.
next race. Yep, this time it
Yeah.
is dry though, not a wet race like last
Yeah,
season.
yeah. I mean, I missed the wet race, but it's still like, it's been a while since I've raced there. So, we'll have to see. I don't know. It's with this season, especially with all the BOP changes, you just never know until you actually get out there. There's like cars like the Honda where you just have no idea how good it's going to be because nobody drove it before. So, well, it'll be interesting to see what sort of pace we have around there.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yep, that's for sure. Luckily, the Porsche is pretty good with that sort of stuff. It's not like the Ferrari or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey man, we'll let you get back to celebrating in the D1 race chat. I know you guys are going to break it down in there. But congratulations once again, Josh. You got anything for Travis?
Just another word of congratulations, man. Great way to start off the season, and bring it back next week.
Yep, thank you guys.
Thanks,
You
man.
brought it home. Hey, great. We've got Ed way down in Race Chat 1 if y'all want to bring him in.
Yeah, he's got his mic muted. I'm not sure if he's actually able to chat or not, but let's give it a try. Let's see if he can hear us if we bring him in.
Here you go.
I'll move him up here in just a second. There we go. Hey Ed, we're up here in the broadcasting booth for the D1 race. Can you hear us?
Hey guys, yeah, you got me.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Loud and clear.
Fantastic drive out there to bring it home second place. It looked like you were trying to chase Nordstrom down the whole time. How did it look from your perspective?
That's exactly how it looked from my perspective too. He had a good start. I got one position at the start, and then tried to pass him at the beginning, but Hungaroring's so hard to pass, so I figured I'd hang behind him and try to be easy on the tires, and maybe I can get him at the end. But it just never was able to. He ran a great race.
Yeah,
Yeah, you both
fantastic. Go ahead. Sorry.
both of you were flawless all night long. There wasn't an apex miss that we found all night long. You just stayed locked to each other, and it didn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I feel like anytime uh, he went off track, like a little, hit the curb wrong or something, I did the same exact thing. So we kind of just seesawed back and forth with a kind of a consistent gap.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess the only question I've got is on the pit stop. You made tons of ground on him on the entry, but during the stop, you seem to have lost ground again. Did you hit the pit board just right, or did anything that held you up?
Yeah, I slid past the pit board. So
Oh
I
no.
knew,
That's the
I think he was like 1.5 ahead. And so I knew
Mhm.
I got a good entry because as a leader, like you kind of have to be a little conservative and then I can kind of,
Mhm.
rabbit off him a little bit. And so I knew I gained a decent amount on entry, and then I just got greedy trying to get too much into the stall and slid forward. Would have been, I think he had a good stop, I think. So I don't think I would have been able to jump him even if I nailed it, but it would have
Mhm.
made for an interesting turn one probably.
Hey, you did what you had to do. Sometimes you got to make a move, even if it's risky. But especially when both of y'all ran such a perfect race.
Yeah, no doubt. It didn't look like because I was thinking, maybe if he was holding you up, you'd pit and try to find some free air, but it didn't look like you were ever. I mean, you guys both just were pretty matched pace there, staying about a second and a half to 2 seconds apart for majority of the race. Did you ever feel like you had an advantage on him at any point, other than you said in the beginning you maybe had a chance to pass him? But other than that, did you ever feel like, hey man, I might have a chance on him, or was it kind of just like, shoot, I don't know if I got this guy?
In the beginning, I saw him go wide on a couple corners, and I thought, okay, maybe he's over driving a little bit. But then he settled in, and then, like you said, he ran a fantastic race through all the middle toward the end, and then I thought I was gaining on him a little bit toward the end. I started pushing it. Luckily, I didn't have any track cuts until the very end there, so like, okay, now's the time to push. I was able to gain a little bit, trying to jump him in the pits, but yeah, that was the only 2 times where I thought I maybe had a little edge. Other than that, he was just knocking out super consistent laps the entire race.
Yeah, you
So
guys both were.
you had no track cuts.
I didn't
Awesome.
until the end when I started. I ended up with one.
Wow.
But
Still.
when I went a little wide, and I was like, well, yeah, I got to cash them in sometime, right?
Yeah, it's time to use it, right?
Unreal.
Well, a fantastic finish to start the season here for season 9. We're looking forward to the race 2 at Olton Park. What do you feel about that race?
I don't know. The McLaren's not great at Olton to begin with, and with the BOP, we got like 20 plus 20, so that's going to be interesting. Last season it was wet, and it evened out the car a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. We'll see how they have all the data, so I trust them. But it'll be interesting to see where we end up.
Sure will. Look forward to seeing it. Josh, you got anything for Ed before we set him free?
Not unless he's got any tips for a fellow Maca driver for next week.
Same here. I'll take
The
them
only
too.
tip I can think of is in the middle there, at least for me. If you pushed it just a little hard and carried a little too much trail brake in, the rear started to come around, and so like just don't go, when you start slowing down a little bit with the tires, don't try to go a little bit harder. Just try to back off just a little bit, and then I was able to keep within maybe a half second of best lap to best lap right at the beginning and the end of the run. So just it does slide in the rear toward the middle when the tires wear.
For sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks for the tips,
Much
man. If we could be
appreciated.
more like you.
Nice. Heck of a race. Nothing you could do better than you did.
I appreciate it, guys, and it's good to hear you guys in the booth. I was listening to the pre-race a little bit, and you guys doing a fantastic job. So thanks for jumping in this season.
Hey,
Much
thanks.
Great.
Thanks to
We
you,
had
man.
fun.
We get the fun part. You guys do all the hard work out there, making us look good. So thanks again. Congratulations. We'll let you get back to the race chat, man.
Thanks, Phil.
All right.
Hey,
We're
good
going to
stuff.
pull in what I believe is both our driver of the day and our P3 finisher, Michael Manning, which I was saying his name wrong at first. Apologize for that. So we're going to grab him here and see if he wants to chat with us. And if I can get my mouse to work properly, here he comes. Hey, Michael, welcome to the booth. This is Dudley Do-Right. We're up here in the Division 1 commentators booth. We just wanted to talk to you about your race, man. How did it go for you out there?
I'm honestly pretty happy. Definitely nothing to be like too frustrated about. Except for qualifying. Qualifying, that was a little disheartening for me. 4/10 off PB, not the best thing in the world, but I knew this thing was gonna be bad on tires, so I just tried to get out of everyone's way, pit early, and worked out pretty well for me. My pace was pretty solid, and went from there.
Yeah,
You worked it out right because you got free wide open track ahead, so you got to be unfettered for most of the race.
Yeah, it was pretty solid, and I wasn't exactly sure like what I was doing compared to the leaders, but I had somewhat of a gauge on like where they were at the track compared to me. But when Flamger came out of the pit, I was really surprised how much I had gained on them, but it looked like there was a big battle going on up there, so I guess that makes more sense. But yeah, it worked out really well.
I thought the pit stop worked out well for you, and you ran a clean race. No, nothing else you could have done. It was perfect.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more pace I could have had, but not much I can ask. Not many other people running this car, so it's kind of easy to know why, but that's okay. I'm very happy with how it went.
Oh, I checked a few times, and it looked like you were running the same speed as the leaders most of the time. So I don't think there's anything left in it.
No, not really. If good qualifying might have been able to do it, but that's about it. Something I can work on for next race.
Yeah, there's always something to work on. So, was that your strategy from the get-go? Were you thinking I'm going to pit early and see how the undercut works, or did that kind of come into play when the qualifying didn't go so hot?
When the qualifying didn't go well, I figured, and also it helped at the start. Front two pulled away. Nordstrom and Kerstetter, they just pulled off. And I was like, yeah, this train is not going to be fun for me. I think I'm the slowest on the main straight out of any car, so that wouldn't have been helpful either. So at that point, basically when we were on the grid, I was like, yeah, just pitting lap 1, just doing it, just getting it done.
Very cool. Great strategy, man. It worked out for you. You're actually, we voted you here in the booth as our driver of the day with that maneuver of pitting early and then being first place of all the guys that did their pit stops and then hung in there for to be the third place last step on the podium there. Great race, man.
Wow, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Josh, you got anything?
Just a well-deserved driver of the day, man. And like we said to Ed, great race and great way to start off the season. And we hope to see it back on the track next week.
Thank you. I'll for sure be around.
So
Thank
yes.
you guys.
Speaking of which, real quick, what are you feeling about next week? You finished well this week. Good start to the. How's next week going to go for you?
If I can put the sweat in again, I'm not feeling too bad. I'm pretty sure this thing isn't supposed to be that bad at Olton. That's next week, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Olton Park. Yes, sir.
Every car's bad at Olton.
Like, so out of all the tracks where I could be like somewhat confident that something good's gonna happen, could be there. So I'm definitely gonna try and put in laps again. Little worried about tire wear, especially like punctures. But hopefully I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, the cream rises to the top at Olton Park, so I think we'll be seeing you here again next week.
I hope so too.
All right, fantastic race, man. We'll let you get back to the race chat. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
Well, I had fun.
Yeah, man. What a race. What a good time. Is there anybody else we want to interview real quick, or you guys think we did a good job with those three?
I think we did a great job with those three.
All right. Well, this is going to conclude our broadcast for the evening. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, on the Twitch stream. We love you in the chat. Thanks for following. Thanks for being part of the SRA. Just a group of people here. What a great group of people, and we just look forward to seeing what's next. We only got one thing left to do, and that is to thank all our sponsors. Thank you guys so much for everybody who is a supporter of SRA, and a huge thank you to our title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today, and support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favorite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliate sponsors, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. And to Go Setups, premium esports setups for everyone. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. That's out of the way. Thanks, guys, so much. We'll see you next time.